Good morning. Ah, how awesome is this? Okay. All right, I know that some of you have been sitting so patiently for almost an hour. That is incredible. Yes, my group over here, that is awesome. So this is just the most special day for me and for everybody associated with Rileys Way. We started this a little over 2 years ago. We went into this great school, PS 81Q in Queens, and I know they're here today. And I remember it like yesterday going. I met these 3rd and 4th graders, and I explained to you why we were here and that we were going to start on this grand experiment. I told you a little bit about my daughter, Riley, what a special girl she was, and the thing that matters most to Riley, the thing she was absolutely the best at, the thing that she loved most of anything in this world was her friends. And so that's what we started to build. And if you remember my 81Q team, I said, we're going to learn a lot more from you guys than you're going to learn from us. And then we went from 81Q to Nightingale Bamford. Check out up there. Woo! And then this year we added 2 amazing new schools, PS 33 Chelsea Prep. All right, they're really loud, but I know I've got Sasulu Walker up there, and I know we can be really, yeah. So the first thing I want to do is thank each of you, our students. You are this program, and we started with an idea, and because of your involvement and your ideas, we have today, and we're just getting started. So the first thing to do is say thank you to each of you. Then the next thing we all need to do, we have amazing teachers and principals who somehow were able to get 750 of you on a very warmest day on record. We were able to get you all here in one place. The logistical challenges are amazing. So how about a nice round of applause for our amazing teachers? Yeah. Okay. So, has anybody read the book Wonder? Yeah. All right. It is such an incredible book, and I couldn't think of a better subject, a better book, a better speaker to have our first closing assembly with everybody together. The thing that really struck me about Wonder was you had this really brave boy, Augie, right? So Augie decides in the book that he's going to go to school. And that is no small feat for Augie because Augie doesn't look like everybody else. But he does. And everybody's read this, so you know, you get it from a bunch of different vantage points. Augie gets bullied. Augie gets teased. But Augie, at the end, is able to persevere. Augie wins an award at the end of the book for winning quietly the hearts and minds of his classmates. Augie is truly a wonderful character, but it's important to note that what gets Augie there is not just Augie. Augie needed his classmates to become friends. He needed people to look beyond how he looked on the outside and see the inner beauty inside him. And that's what happened. And that is why it is such a wonderful book, and it is the perfect book for what we're doing here, because what we've started with Rileys Way is really very simple. We're just trying to put a spotlight on being kind to each other and just being really good friends. So, without further ado, I have the incredible honor of introducing RJ Palacio.
Wow. Hello? Hello? I'll use this. Hi. Oh my goodness, I am so, you can hear me now, right? I am so thrilled to be here. This is really, really exciting for me. And first of all, I am so honored to have been asked here and sort of to, this is all about a little girl who spread kindness. And so I feel so honored to be here with all of you who are all here gathered, courtesy of her parents and courtesy of all your schools too. So I want to first of all give a shout out to, who are the Queens kids that were stuck in a bus? All right, thank you. In this heat, that could not have been fun. And also,
I'm not taking you away, just the mic.
Oh, great. You guys can hear me without that, great. Also, I am from Queens, so I'm like really thrilled that you guys are here. And I just want to say hello to everybody. Thank you so much for coming. I am RJ Palacio, the author of Wonder, and I'm here to talk to you today about a little bit about the book and what inspired me to write the story. And then I thought we would have some Q&A afterwards, and you can ask me a whole bunch of stuff. But because I was not actually an author when I wrote Wonder. I had always wanted to be an author. I'd always wanted to be a writer. But that's not what I did for a living. I was a graphic designer for many years. I went to the High School of Art and Design in New York. I went to Parsons School of Design down in the Village. And my job for many years was to design book covers for other people's books. But then, something happened every once in a while in our life journey. Things happen to us, and this was not even a big thing at all. But about 8 or 9 years ago, I was with my 2 children, my 2 sons, in Park Slope, which is where I live in Brooklyn. And it was a hot day like this, and we decided to go get some ice cream at the Haagen-Dazs on 7th Avenue. And there's a little bench outside the Haagen-Dazs. And my younger son, who was only about 3 years old at the time, he was in the stroller, and we decided to wait outside while my older son, who was about 12, went inside the store and got us some chocolate milkshakes. And as I was sitting down and my little boy was sort of in his stroller, kind of not really paying attention to what was going on around him, some people sat down next to us. And then I just kind of looked over and I realized that the little girl sitting directly next to me on the bench, who was probably only about 5 or 6 years old, had a very significant craniofacial difference. She looked very much the way I describe Augie as looking in the book. And she was just, eating her ice cream cone, chatting with either her sister or a friend and her mother. And I had a moment of panic because I knew that the moment my little boy, my 3-year-old, looked up and saw her, I knew that he might say or do something that she might notice. I think I was pretty certain that he would maybe start to cry or get scared. I mean, he was only 3 years old. He was really just a toddler. But we were so close to her that I knew that however he reacted, she might see him. And I was so afraid that his reaction would hurt her feelings that I thought, okay, well, maybe I should leave. And so I started to get up very slowly and carefully because I didn't want to draw attention to us. But unfortunately, before we could kind of leave and maybe go to the other side of the sidewalk, my older son came out of the store carrying the 3 chocolate milkshakes. And my younger son kind of looked up, and I still can remember the moment that he just happened to glance over and he saw the little girl, because his eyes got really wide and his jaw dropped open, and I knew he was about to cry out. Before he could do that, though, I kind of got up really, really quickly, flipped his stroller around, tried to put myself in his line of vision, and I started pushing the stroller away as quickly as I could. And at the same time, I kind of grabbed my older son, who didn't know what was going on. And in my hurry and in my panicked state, as I kind of pulled him, I caused him to drop all the chocolate milkshakes on the sidewalk. And he did what you could imagine any 12-year-old would do when his mother is acting crazy. He yelled at me. He was like, "Mom, what are you doing? Why are we leaving so quickly?" And he said it really loudly. And by now, my younger son, my 3-year-old, was crying hysterically, trying to turn around in the stroller, get another look at the girl. And I was just mortified. I kept pushing that stroller, pulling my son, and I just kept going. And as I was leaving, I heard the little girl's mom say in a voice that I will never forget, she said, "Guys, I think maybe it's time to go." She said that to her daughters. And I have to say, as a mother, my heart kind of broke because I realized that we had caused all that. And even as I was leaving, there was a voice in my head kind of, saying like, "Go back, apologize, make it right." But I was so afraid of making an awkward situation worse, I just kept going. And I have to tell you, we all have those moments in our lives that we regret. Little things, usually, hopefully, not big things, but little moments, what you could call like a failure of kindness. Those moments that you didn't stand up for someone maybe, or that you maybe when you were a kid, you laughed at someone behind their back, or, little moments like that. For me, that moment will always be one of them because I was so mad at myself afterwards. Afterwards, I realized, of course, that what I should have done, but I didn't have the wherewithal to do, was simply let my son cry. Little kids cry all the time, right? Turn to the little girl and started up a conversation. Maybe just asked her how her ice cream was, or, just talk to her. And shown my little boy by my example that there was, of course, nothing to be afraid of. But at the time, sometimes we react to things without thinking and we don't know any better. But I was so mad at myself for the rest of the day. I was so mad that I had reacted this way and that I had sort of wasted this moment, this opportunity to turn a situation into a teaching moment for my children. And honestly, do you guys ever have those moments when you wish you could have a do-over, right? It's like, oh, I wish I hadn't done that. All the rest of the day, I kept on wishing I'd had a do-over, and I kept on sort of fantasizing about how I could have handled the situation better. And that night, I turned on the radio, which is something I hardly ever do because I usually have my playlist all set. But I turned on the radio, and the very first song to come on was this song called Wonder by Natalie Merchant. And I don't know if you guys know this song. A lot of kids don't. A lot of people over the age of 30 do. It's a really great song. It's all about this child who is born so different. And in the song, the difference is never mentioned. But this baby is born so different that doctors come from distant cities just to see her. And in the song, she says, I know that I am a wonder of God's own creation. And as far as I see, I don't even remember the words of the song, but it's about empowerment. It's about celebrating differences. And anyway, it was something about that song and what had happened earlier in the day. And I just kind of had that one of those, you have those light bulb moments where you think, okay, I'm going to write a book. And it's going to be called Wonder. And it's going to be about what it must be like to face a world every day that doesn't really know how to face you back. And I started writing the book that very night. And I didn't know where it was going to go. I didn't know if I would finish it. I didn't know if it would be something that was publishable or, I didn't know. but I kind of kept writing. And a year and a half later, I had a book. And lo and behold, 5 years after its publication, I'm still talking about this book. Because ultimately what I wanted to write about, you know, while it is a book about a kid with a craniofacial difference, obviously he looks very different than most other kids, it's really a book about kindness, right? It's a book about the importance of kindness, the impact of kindness. And it's been an extraordinary journey for me to see how that little book, and it really was meant to be just a little book. You know, it wasn't meant to be a trilogy. It wasn't meant to be, you know, it's not about vampires, and it's not about kids fighting each other in an arena, you know, which I love, by the way. These are books I love. But, you know, it's not one of those books that you think would become a big bestseller. So the fact that it became this kind of big bestseller now, it's a shock to me still. It's been published in 45 languages. There are over 5 million copies around the world. It's crazy. I honestly, as I'm standing here now, I still can't believe it. I find myself, I pinch myself. Because it's a little book with a big message. And that's what I can't get over, that this message has sort of really resonated with so many people. I feel like now more than ever, this message about being kind to one another is needed. And so I'm just really thrilled to have been the messenger of this message. And I just love that so many people have been part of it. So I really, really want to thank all of you who've read Wonder and who've really made it sort of a part of their lives. So I want to thank you, and I think we're going to open it up to questions pretty soon. I did also want to mention that I grew up in New York City. I went to public schools in New York City. I'm a first-generation American. My parents were from Colombia. Is anyone here from Colombia? Any Spanish-speaking kids? Yeah, all right. So I'm also here to sort of represent a little bit. If this, you know, my first language was Spanish. That's the first language I spoke. I didn't actually even speak English till I started going to kindergarten. So I'm here to just tell you, anything is possible in this country we live in. Do your thing, go to school, do as well as you can in school, and the sky is the limit to what you are capable of doing. And I just want to tell you that. So thank you very much for letting me talk. Thank you. Thanks.
First of all, is this on?
Should I sit down?
Can we give another big round for this wonder?
Oh.
RJ?
Thank you. Thank you, guys. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm Lauren.
And I'm Laura.
And we're the program directors of Rileys Way Foundation. And we're so honored to be in this room. But before I bring up some very good questions, we have a couple questions from each school. This is about friendship, and we wouldn't be here if the incredible editor of Wonder wasn't my friend. Erin, just wait. Erin Clark is wise and kind. She's very kind. So thank you, Erin. And now, without further ado, we can't wait to debrief with each of you. But right now, come on up stage. Our first school, Chelsea Prep PS 33.
Hi, my name is Young,
fifth grader at PS 33 Chelsea Prep. My question is, do you think that the lesson of this book will help other people understand each other?
You know, I really hope so. I hope, I think someone should send this book to Donald Trump. Guys, wait.
Hello, my name is Sky.
I
am a fifth grader.
Sorry.
Okay. Hello, my name is Sky, and I am a fifth grader at PS 33 Chelsea Prep. My question is, does this book relate to your childhood?
I'm sorry, can you say it one more time? Sorry, the last part.
Does this book relate to your childhood?
Does it relate to my childhood? You know, there are some stories, like little subplots in the book that were definitely taken from my childhood. For instance, Jack Will tells a story about the sled, finding the sled in the park. And that happened to me when I was in the 6th grade. I was in my local park, which is Casina Park in Flushing. And I found a sled, and I had this really, not very good plastic sled, so I found this radio flyer, and I thought it was really cool, and I took it home, and I spent the entire weekend sort of like painting it. I was so proud of it. And then when I went to school on Monday, I overheard some friends talking about having discarded that junky old sled, and I remember feeling badly. So anyway, that was from my childhood. So there are little bits and pieces of my childhood in there, definitely. Yeah.
Thank you so much. Now I'd like to bring up, yes, thank you, our questions from Sisulu Walker Charter School of Harlem.
Hello, my name is Navaya, and I'm a fifth grader at Sisulu Walker Charter School of Harlem. And my question is, who motivates you?
Who motivates me? You know, I would say my kids. You know, I definitely wrote Wonder thinking when I was writing it that maybe they would be the only two people in the whole world that would read it, aside from my husband. That was what kept me going, the idea that maybe someday they'll read my book and they'll like the message of my book. I would say when I was younger, though, my mom and dad, they totally motivated me. I wanted to make them proud, you know, and that's a great motivating thing. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Zyla, and I'm a fifth grader at Sisulu Walker Charter School of Harlem. My question is, why did you decide to write the story from different characters' perspective?
That's a great question. I realized as I started writing Wonder, which is ultimately the story of one boy, Augie Pullman, from the beginning of 5th grade to the end of 5th grade. And I realized at a certain point that to be able to tell his story completely, which means also the impact he has on other people, that I would have to leave his head. And so I decided to introduce the different points of view as a way of telling his story, but sort of from a 360-degree perspective. And that's what made me decide to do that. I wanted to basically explore how people felt about him. So thank you. That's a great question.
And now we have 2 questions from Nightingale Branford.
Hello, my name is Emily, and I am a 4th grader at the Nightingale Bamford School. My question is, have you met the girl who inspired Wonder, and if you did, what was it like?
I have not met the girl that inspired Wonder. I did go back later that day to see if anyone knew who she was or anything like that, and maybe she was passing through, maybe she was visiting people. I have no idea, but I never met her. I've received a lot of emails over the years from people and organizations with children who have craniofacial differences. And I have to say the support that Wonder has gotten from that community has been so fantastic that I feel a little bit like I feel like, that one day in front of the ice cream store sort of I feel like I did atone for it. You know what I mean? I kind of feel like they forgive me for what I did that day, and they understand. So I'm hoping that the little girl, I have a feeling she might not even realize that. I mean, it did happen kind of quickly, and I sometimes wonder if she even realized what was going on. I know her mother did, but I don't think the little girl did. And unfortunately, I think things like that probably happen to them so often that it might not have sort of registered, for her.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello, my name is Grayson, and I'm a fourth grader at the Nightingale Bamford School. When is your next book coming out, and what is it about?
Wow. Do you work for my editor? Do you know? Are you sure? I don't know. I have to finish it. And I've been working away at it. And I'm really happy with it. But I still have some ways to go. So, and I've, it's been a distracting time just to be a citizen of the United States right now. And it's really hard to sort of focus. So I've been a little slower at it than I've wanted to, but so the answer to that is hopefully maybe I will be finished with it, fall or winter, and hopefully it would be out next year. That's hopeful though, I don't know.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. And now we have a question from PS 81Q.
Hello, my name is Shirley, and I am a fifth grader at PS 81Q. My question is, why didn't you write from the point of view of the parents?
Oh, that is a great question. I didn't write from the point of view of the parents because I honestly wanted to keep Wonder purely from the kids' perspectives. It's the world of children. And I knew that if I opened it up to the parents, we only know the parents through Augie's point of view and through Via's point of view. And as such, the parents are a little bit idealized. The parents only show one part of themselves to the kids, in a lot of ways. They try to be very positive and very strong for Augie. And so that's what Augie knows about his parents. They try not to show Augie those moments of when they might feel sad or down or scared or vulnerable because they don't want to show him that. So if I were to have written from that perspective, then I think I would have had to delve into parts of their feelings that are much deeper and darker. So I decided not to. I decided to just keep it from the point of view of children. Thank you.
I want to thank these brave, smart questions. If you guys want to take a quick bow or wave, and guys, we have, before our big presentation, we have a couple minutes. So Laura and I wanted to see if there was a teacher or a principal who had a spontaneous question for RJ. Raise your hand if there's a teacher.
There's one up there.
We can do a couple teacher questions, but you have to raise your hands. No pressure.
I'll go on.
Hi there.
It's so nice to meet you.
Oh, so nice to meet you
Miss
too.
Howard from PS 81.
Thank you.
I just wondered,
Okay, guys, let's hear up.
did you ever get the opportunity after that incident with your children, when you met the girl, did you ever explain to them what happened when you went home?
To the kids?
Yes,
to my
to your
children?
children.
Yes, I did. I had, and in fact, if you guys have read Wonder, you know that the scene that I described that happened in real life, I kind of wrote about it in, from Jack Will's perspective. He was with his babysitter in the story,
yes.
and he was with his little brother.
Yes.
And I pretty much said a little bit of what the babysitter said, because she says something like, you don't have to be, you don't have to mean to hurt somebody, basically. And so we had that discussion. We talked about why I was so upset with myself, not with them, because my older son, by the way, didn't even realize what was going on.
Right.
But my younger son, and interestingly enough, I've told people over the years about the inspiration for the story. My younger son is now 13 years old. So that's how much time has passed. It's been 10 years. And sometimes, like a couple of years ago, he actually felt a little bit badly for having, sort of cried and I told him, it wasn't his reaction that I was sort of disappointed in, because he was a baby. I never sort of was disappointed. I understood his reaction. It was always my reaction. And so we had that conversation not too long ago, because he felt kind of guilty about it. Yeah, so thank you. That's a great question. Thank you very much. Hello. Hi.
Hi, I have a question actually that was brought up by a colleague of mine who
Okay.
happens to be all the way up, and
All
I
the
know
way
that
up
she
there,
can't get
where
down.
the lights are, yeah.
We were wondering, she brought it up one day, and she came in the room and she asked me what I thought. Why was Justin's passage written lowercase, kind of like, half sentences?
Right.
A lot of the sentences weren't
Right.
complete. We were wondering where you were
what
going
the
with
madness
that.
was, yeah. Justin, if you remember, was a musician, right? He expresses himself very musically, and when I was in junior high school, I played trombone. Does anyone play trombone? Yeah, cool. Trombone is a bass clef instrument, and when you read bass clef, oftentimes when the notes are under the music, the lines, I always thought, and I remember thinking this when I was 13 years old, that they looked like lowercase letters. If you think of a D, a lowercase d, or a lowercase p, right? Or an O, an open note. So I thought that it would be a cool way to visually represent Justin, to just write in lowercase. He's also a very kind of informal guy. He's got that sort of, he writes and he thinks the way people text. Some people are very informal texters. And so that's basically why I did that. Though it's funny, I get a lot of English teachers who ask me, like, why'd you do that? So, but that's why.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And now we'd like to bring up some representatives from PS 81Q for a very special presentation.
Hi, how are you? Nice to meet you too. Hi. Hi. Hi, so nice to meet you. Hi. Hi, how are you? It's so nice to meet you. Hi. Hi. Hi, how are you? Hi. Hello, how are you?
Okay, so we have just something to say.
Okay.
It's not often that we as educators are given an opportunity to teach something as abstract as kindness, especially through a novel. We lead by example and modeling, hoping that the kids will see and mimic our positive behaviors. We're honored to tell you that this little book that you wrote will forever touch our hearts and our minds and the actions and the life choices of many, many students around the world. Your novel is an irreplaceable and rare tool. It's going to be certain to be utilized for years and years to come. In order to show our gratitude and appreciation, we would like to present to you the Lost Chapters of Wonder. It's 80 chapters from the mom and dad's point of view.
Awesome. Oh my goodness. Wow.
Thank you.
This is so cool. Wow. So you guys wrote all these?
Yeah, our school,
Fantastic.
We studied your book for like 6 months.
Oh my goodness. Oh my God, this is amazing. Oh my God, this is amazing. Thank you so much. This is fantastic.
Yes.
Who's the illustrator? Oh, well, look at that. That is amazing. Thank you so much. Wow. Well, I have to tell you guys, this is a real treat. Thank you so much. I'm so honored. So honored.
Thank you.
Thank you. Wow.
Thank you. That's beautiful, and we hope that you enjoy it.
Oh, absolutely. Thank you so much.
Thank you all for sitting so still and quietly and listening for so long. We really appreciate you all being here. Like the Academy Awards, I have a few people to thank, and I have my notes here so I don't forget anybody. First of all, we can't even say thank you enough, but thank you so much for being here, RJ.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Your book has inspired thousands to choose kindness, and we can only hope that we do the same through our Rileys Way program.
Thank you.
I also want to thank Random House and Aaron Clark for making this beautiful connection and for bringing RJ to all of you today. I want to take a moment to thank the Sandlers and our amazing board for being here and supporting us throughout all of this and making this possible. I would love to give a huge thank you to the New York Society for Ethical Culture for this welcoming us to this beautiful and warm space. It's been really real treat to be here. And just as a little tidbit for you all and for you, RJ, this is Albert Einstein spoke on this stage, so you're in good company.
Cool.
I'd also like to thank Corinne and Smart Source for being our filmers and our photographers today. We're really excited to get all of this up online.
There they are.
I wouldn't be standing here without my amazing partner, Lauren, so thank you so much. And finally, the biggest thank you from all of our hearts to our schools and our teachers, our students. This is because of you. We're here to celebrate and choose kindness because of you all, and we hope that you're inspired to do this with us. It is so powerful for all of us to be in the same room. This is the first time that all 4 of our Rileys Way program schools are together, and we hope to continue doing this, but it's just amazing to look out and see everybody from all of our schools. We hope through our program you're able to choose and celebrate kindness and friendship, and give yourselves a big round of applause for being here today.
So we have one last parting wish, is for you to be kinder today. It's going to be hot, it's going to be sticky, you're going to take a bus ride home or back to school. Be kind to your teachers. Be kind to your family. Do one brave act of intentional, on purpose kindness today.
Yes.
Thank you. And now we're going to dismiss calmly, but we're going to say thank you one more time.
Thank you. No, thank you
And thank
so
you
much.
one more time.
Thank you. love that.
And to work with a friend every day. So we're going to start with Queens. You're the first school that gets to go to the bathroom. You want to wait? You want to wait? We're going to start with Chelsea Prep. You're the first school that's going to dismiss. Thank you for coming.
Bye.
We can't wait.